I speak now from a quiet height, where my breath carries the weight of crowns never to fold my heart into silk restraint. Yet you have taught me that some feelings refuse to kneel. When I think of you, my pulse abandons etiquette and runs freely, barefoot across forbidden corridors. I have decided that loving you will be my most deliberate rebellion. I watched my certainty form slowly, like dawn refusing to be hurried. And in that patience I learned the shape of your absence, before I even named your presence. Every silence you left behind felt intentional, as if you were carving space for me to grow brave. I did not fall into you, I stepped, knowingly, into the gravity you hold. This decision was not sudden, it was inevitable. There are rooms in me reserved for duty, for legacy, for the careful future others have imagined on my behalf, yet you found the one chamber, untouched by expectation. You stood there without asking for permission, and still my heart opened its doors willingly. I felt seen without being claimed, cherished without being cornered. That gentleness is how I knew I was already yours. I have learned that longing can be elegant, that desire does not always announce itself loudly, and that yearning can sit upright with perfect posture while quietly undoing a woman from within. You awaken that kind of longing in me. Even when I do not speak your name, my thoughts lean toward you instinctively, as flowers lean toward light they cannot question. I am undone in the most dignified way. Sometimes I imagine telling you everything at once, letting the truth rush out like a river breaking its banks, but suspense has its own romance. Holding back has sharpened my feelings, made them glow brighter in restraint. I carry my affection, like a sealed letter pressed against my heart, knowing the moment it is opened will change everything. Anticipation has become its own form of intimacy. You must know that I did not arrive at this devotion lightly. I weighed it against reason, against protocol, against the quiet warnings echoing through my upbringing. Still, when I imagined a future untouched by you, it felt colorless, rehearsed, borrowed. With you, even uncertainty feels honest, alive, worthy of risk. There is a tenderness in the way you exist, without trying to impress the world, that disarms me completely. You do not demand my admiration, yet it rises effortlessly. You do not chase my attention, yet you hold it captive. This unforced power is what makes my resolve tremble and strengthen all at once. I have decided about you in moments when no one was watching, when the mirrors were kind and the night was forgiving. In those hours, I let myself be only a woman, not an emblem, not an inheritance. And as just a woman, I choose you with a clarity that surprises even me. Love feels simpler when it is honest. Your presence lingers even when you are far from me, threading itself through my days with quiet persistence. I hear you in pauses between conversations, feel you in choices I did not expect to reconsider. You have become a reference point, a silent question I ask myself before every step. This is how I know my heart has already answered. I have always been taught that restraint is strength, but you have shown me that vulnerability is its own kind of courage. Thinking of you softens my defenses without weakening my resolve. I am not less for wanting you, I am more awake. My emotions stand taller when they are allowed to breathe. There is suspense in loving you quietly, in carrying this devotion like a hidden crest beneath my attire. Each encounter, each glance, becomes charged with meaning unsaid. I savor the tension, the almost, the not yet. Desire blooms most fiercely in what is delayed. I do not romanticize you as an escape from my world. You are not a fantasy built to save me. You are real, And it is precisely that reality that draws me in. Loving you would not erase my responsibilities, but it would give them warmth. Even queens need a place to rest their truth. I have imagined the sound of my voice, when I finally confess everything, how it might tremble or steady itself in your presence. I wonder if you would hear the years of composure cracking open, or if you would simply hear sincerity. Either way, the thought of your response keeps my heart awake at night. Hope can be wonderfully disruptive. In you, I sense a future that does not ask me to disappear to be loved. You look at me as if all of me is allowed, the strength and the softness, the discipline and the doubt. That gaze alone feels like permission I have waited my whole life to receive. It makes my decision feel sacred. I have decided about you not because it is easy, but because it is true. Truth has a resonance that cannot be silenced, no matter how carefully one is taught to behave. It hums beneath my every thought, persistent and patient. I am learning to listen. When I hold myself still, I can feel my heart leaning toward you, as if it has memorized your direction. Even my fears seem gentler when framed by your existence. You do not erase them, you make them survivable. That is a rare and powerful gift. I know that love can be a battlefield disguised as a garden, and I am not naive to its costs. Yet I also know that denying what grows naturally only leads to regret. I would rather face uncertainty with you than certainty without feeling. This is the bravery I choose. You have become my quiet preference, the thought I return to when the world demands too much. In imagining you, I find balance, a steadiness that no rulebook ever taught me. You are not an interruption to my path, you are a widening of it. That realization changed everything. I have decided about you in the way one decides to breathe after being underwater too long. It is instinctive, necessary, undeniable. My heart recognizes you before my mind catches up. That recognition feels ancient, as if it has been waiting patiently. There is romance in the restraint I still keep, in the way I allow this love to mature instead of rushing it forward. Every unspoken word ripens with meaning. Every delayed touch gathers intensity. This slow fire is how I honor what I feel. If loving you is a secret for now, it is one I hold with reverence, not shame. Some treasures are meant to be protected until the moment is right. I trust time more when I think of you waiting somewhere within it. Patience feels less lonely. I have decided about you with a calm that surprises my own pulse. This is not a fleeting emotion, it is a settled knowing. Even if the world never hears it, my heart has already signed its vow. You are my chosen truth. And so I remain here, composed yet quietly undone, carrying this love like a royal seal pressed into warm wax. It is permanent, deliberate, impossible to deny. Whatever unfolds next, I know this has already happened within me. I have decided about you. After that decision settled inside me, I noticed how the world continued as if nothing had changed, while everything within me had shifted its center. I still walked with practiced grace, still spoke with measured tone, yet my heart had learned a new rhythm that answered only to you. It amazed me how love could be so loud without making a sound. I carried it like a second heartbeat. There are moments when I feel the weight of history pressing gently on my shoulders, reminding me of who I am meant to be. And yet your presence teaches me who I already am. You do not compete with my destiny, you illuminate it. In your quiet regard, I feel less like a symbol and more like a soul allowed to breathe freely. That freedom is intoxicating. I have begun to recognize you in unexpected places, in passing thoughts, in sudden smiles that surprise even me. When laughter escapes my lips unplanned, I know it has traced its way back to you. You have become the invisible author of my lighter moments. Even my seriousness has softened in your direction. There is a certain suspense in not knowing how deeply you see me, whether you sense the devotion growing behind my composed expression. I wonder if you notice the way my gaze lingers a fraction longer, or how my voice steadies when you are near. These small betrayals of my heart feel dangerously sweet. They thrill me more than certainty ever could. I was taught that love must be strategic, aligned with alliances and futures carefully drawn on paper. Yet what I feel for you refuses to be diagrammed or explained away. It lives in instinct, in emotion that arrives fully formed. No map prepared me for this terrain, yet I navigate it willingly. When night comes, my thoughts loosen their discipline and wander freely toward you. In the privacy of darkness, I allow myself to imagine conversations not yet spoken and confessions not yet offered. These imagined moments feel so real they leave warmth behind. Sleep comes easily when my last thought is you. I have discovered that longing does not weaken me, it sharpens my awareness. Every interaction carries deeper meaning, every pause becomes significant. Loving you has tuned my senses to a finer frequency. The world feels more vivid, more deliberate. Sometimes I fear the power you hold without knowing it. The way your existence alone can steady or unsettle me. Yet I trust you with that power instinctively. Trust, I have learned, is love's quiet companion. It grows strongest where it is least demanded. I find myself rehearsing restraint, even as my heart practices surrender. This tension has become familiar, almost comforting. It reminds me that I am alive, that something real is unfolding beneath decorum. Suspense, after all, is the space where desire learns patience. You do not ask me to choose between who I am and what I feel. That generosity binds me to you more securely than any promise could. In your presence, I feel expanded, not divided. That is a rare harmony I do not take lightly. There are days when duty speaks louder than desire, when expectations reclaim their authority. Even then, my decision remains intact, steady beneath the noise. Love, I am learning, does not require constant attention to endure. It waits with remarkable loyalty. I have begun to imagine a future where my heart is not hidden behind layers of formality, where affection is spoken without fear of consequence. In those visions, you stand beside me not as an escape, but as a truth acknowledged. The image feels both terrifying and beautiful. That is how I know it matters. Your silence, when it appears, does not frighten me. Instead, it invites reflection, allowing my feelings to deepen without distraction. I have grown fond of this quiet connection, this understanding without constant proof. It feels mature, grounded, real. I am aware that love carries risk, that to decide about you is to accept the possibility of loss. Still, avoidance has never protected anyone from regret. I would rather feel fully and face uncertainty than live untouched by passion. My heart agrees without hesitation. There is a dignity in choosing someone without needing to possess them immediately. I honor you by allowing space, by letting affection unfold at its own pace. This restraint is not distance, it is respect. It keeps my devotion pure. At times, I catch myself smiling at nothing, only to realize I am responding to a thought of you. These private moments feel like small rebellions against the seriousness of my world. They remind me that joy does not need permission. It simply arrives, I have noticed how my sense of time has changed since deciding about you. Days feel fuller, pauses more intentional. Waiting no longer feels empty, it feels charged with promise. Even absence has become meaningful. You are not a chapter I wish to rush through, nor a climax I seek too quickly. You are a slow story I want to read carefully, savoring every sentence. Love like this deserves attention, not haste. I owe it that patience. I speak of you inwardly with a tenderness I rarely allow myself. My thoughts cradle your name with care, as if it were something fragile and precious. That gentleness surprises me. It reveals parts of me I did not know were waiting. If ever I seem distant, know that distance is sometimes how I protect what matters most. I guard this feeling because it is sincere, because it is still becoming. Some things need time to grow strong enough to face the light. This love is one of them. I have decided about you in ways that do not require witnesses. My resolve does not depend on applause or approval. It exists quietly, confidently within me. That privacy makes it powerful. There is romance in this waiting, in the unsaid that vibrates between us. Every moment of restraint adds depth to what will eventually be revealed. I cherish this slow burn. It teaches me devotion without urgency. Even if the path ahead twists unexpectedly, my choice remains meaningful. Loving you has already changed me for the better. It has taught me courage, softness, and honesty. No outcome can erase that. So I continue forward, composed yet deeply aware, carrying this love like a promise whispered only to myself. Whatever comes next will rise from this truth. I have decided about you, and that decision still stands.